Stop caring what other people think is bad advice. And it's not because it's morally wrong or just straight up incorrect, but more so it's because it's vague advice that, taken to its extreme, can lead somebody out of taking criticism that actually benefits them. It leads somebody out of reflecting on who they are and what they've come to see of themselves through their own perspective. Believe it or not, guys, caring what other people think is essentially what helps us to become better, right? I don't believe that us as human beings are always the most cognizant of our behavior, are always the most cognizant of our ambitions and the things that, are steering us out of becoming the best version of ourselves. We're not always the most cognizant of that. We almost have to care what other people think. But it's not about necessarily caring what people think. It's about choosing whose opinion we actually take account of. That's the real way that we block out the rest of the noise. That's the real way that we stop submitting ourselves to the opinions of people that don't matter. We choose who we care about. Now, funny enough, I actually got this idea from a book that I read all the way back when I was in college. And I was in a bit of my people-pleasing phase. I was that person who would do anything for people to think that they were nice, right? Because I feel like I had to. I felt like the only thing that I had to offer as a person was just my ability to be nice to others. And so I picked up this book after feeling rejected, after noticing that that wasn't the case, and I had to actually stand up for myself in a lot of ways and stop putting so much weight on what other people said about me. And one of the things that I read from this book was what I said before, that it's actually not about not caring what other people think. It's about choosing the voices, choosing the noise, and caring about that instead. Choosing what to care about, not caring at all. Choosing what to care about, not caring at all. I actually made a video about this on my Instagram page where I talked about how it's not necessarily bad to care about what other people think. What's bad is letting those opinions cross over into your self-worth. Cross over into making you feel less than you actually are. This is why I think it's pretty important for people to have a strong foundation of who they are, right? And that's hard to build without some of the opinions of others. And so what voices do you listen to? This is something that I am still currently healing from, right? I'm healing from a lot of the noises that came into my life as a kid. Right? I'm healing from that. And something that's been really helpful in helping me to get that healing, right, is by reading the Bible. Having an objective view of who I am through the voice of God, the original creator. That's how I was actually able to build a strong foundation of self, my connection to God, the divine. And from that, right, what God says goes. And what anybody else says, it doesn't matter as much. That's the voice that I choose to listen to. And then secondary to that, I select people based off of that original voice who can give me criticism. It's not just me and God, right? Because even sometimes I'm not always going to be able to understand what he says. But I can choose people that follow God to give me active criticism. I can choose people that also subscribe to that voice to let me know when I'm in the middle of my wrongs. That's how I come to become a better version of myself, or that's how I've come to do it. I don't know about you, but it's possible for you to do as well. Choose what voices to listen to. Don't stop caring all in general. Choose what voices to listen to. And eventually that'll lead you into being confident enough to follow your voice as well. It'll give you the confidence that you need to look at your own voice and be like, you know what I say, it's good enough. I'm not a bad person if I wear shoes that are like this. I'm still cool. I'm still valuable. I'm still worth it. That's really all it is. Now, let me tell you guys a story, right? Back when I was in high school, I would wear some of the wackest fits to high school. I'm not going to lie. I would wear some of the wackest fits, stretch pants. You know, I would wear, or sweatpants, not stretch pants. I think stretch pants are something completely different, but I would wear sweatpants and Hot Topic hoodies with lots of graphics on them. And I would go to school thinking I was the guy. And then one day somebody told me, it was a good friend of mine. He said, Fitz, I got to tell you something, right? Your fit is whack. And you know what's funny about it is that he was right. My fit was whack. I went back home and I was like, you know what? This fit is whack. Because at that time, I didn't necessarily have any opinions about the way that I looked. And it gave me the chance to reflect. And from that day forward, I changed. I started wearing clothes that fit me. I started wearing clothes that actually made me feel a lot more confident. And I paid more attention to my fashion because this is something that one of my friends had told me about. He was one of the voices that I chose to listen to at that moment. Choose what voices to listen to. Don't listen to everybody. And even with those voices, never let those opinions cross the boundary into your self-worth, because you are already worth it. God says so, and that's just the way you got to live, baby. Thank you for coming to this Gap session. More on this topic to come on a later date. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. If you dislike this video, make sure to tell me in the comment section below, because as I said in this video, I choose what voices to listen to, and one of those voices are definitely down there in the comment section. Thanks, and God bless. Peace.